Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 250, recording on October 20th, 2025. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Andrew.
And on this week's episode, not a whole lot of news, but a whole lot of what we played, including Keeper, Battlefield 6, Ball Pit, Absolum. What am I missing, Sean?
Ninja Gaiden 4.
I mean, I only played half an hour, like right before we recorded, but lots of new games to talk about. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Blue Jays just went to the World Series. Yeah.
Very exciting. Now, I don't know, but I don't like this Shuhei Ohtani guy. He is way too good.
Yeah, it could be prove to be a difficult matter to win against the Dodgers, but we shall see. I feel like I'm hearing fireworks going off in the neighborhood and stuff like that.
This is a celebration now. Everybody knows, let's just
that's
celebrate
not good.
now.
That's the wrong attitude. You've already conceded the World Series, but you never know. Too much celebrating. Now, it is somewhat of a milestone episode, 250.
Pretty big deal, yeah.
I mean, there was a while there where it was one every year, if we're lucky.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've definitely had a nice run going here. Why not? Remind people who might be listening, youtube.com/gamejunk, and you can subscribe to the podcast there. We're so close to hitting our monetary numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just a couple pennies.
Been inching along for a year or two here, but we can do this.
I've listened to other game podcasts recently, here and there, or YouTube clips. They're not that good. I'm not saying we're necessarily better, but we might be, and we're definitely as good. I've listened to big video game podcasts, and I'm typically unimpressed or not hearing a lot of observations that I haven't heard a million other places. So we're worth a listen. We know what we're talking about. At least
tell a friend.
Do.
Tell a friend. Come on, share the love.
Yeah, spread the love. And Discord links are on youtube.com/gamejunk as well. Just help us out a bit, okay? All right, now that we got that out of the way, I don't even know what we should talk about first. None of these games stands out to me as being, this is the one people want to know about. Sean, I'm going to trust you here. You have your finger on the pulse of the gaming world.
I don't think this is necessarily the one everyone wants to hear about, but it's one that we've all played, and there's definitely some discussion to be had, which is Keeper.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Ball Pit or Ball X Pit or Ball Cross Pit.
Either one, yeah.
I've had people message me about Ball Pit. It's a big deal. But let's do Keeper. We gotta throw that fucking shitbox a bone once in a while. We're asking people to throw us a bone. Let's throw Phil and Team Xbox a bone for once. Talk about the big Game Pass game. 3 big Game Pass games. So we'll start with Keeper, the new game from Double Fine, published by Microsoft Game Studios. And what was the last thing Double Fine released? It's been quite a while, I think.
Psychonauts 2?
I feel like there might have been a tiny or maybe VR release somewhere
there, but
yeah, not much. So it's been a long time coming, and it was only recently announced. So we were all pretty excited by what we saw from Keeper. I will let whoever wants to go first go first. Sean, you've beaten it, so maybe you'll have more in-depth thoughts. For some early thoughts, let's go to Mr. Huck.
Oh, I was going to let Sean kick it off. I mean, he is the Double Fine guy.
I know, but I think he'll be able to fill in gaps and expand upon things we've said from just the first few minutes.
Well, I would say my first impression is the art style's great. I really like the look of the game. Feels very surreal and very grounded feeling art style. The intro scene where you kind of have to loosen the lighthouse is a little weird at first. I was like, what's going on here? It kind of took me a bit, but overall, I was getting a little worried because for the first, 15 minutes, you basically just hold up any direction that you feel like and watch a scene that you are apparently participating in, but not really.
To be fair, I would say that's 75% of adventure games, 3D adventure games of the last 10 years.
Sure. But I mean, normally they sprinkle in a little something for you to do, like, I don't know, hit A and open a door or something. I don't know. So they eventually add the press A to open a door mechanic, which is a good addition. So it's a little slow, but I think, they're trying to take you on some journey around this mountain or whatever they're doing. And so that's fine. That's their choice of art style. I just think it was a little slow of a beginning. And they've got a couple more mechanics that I've experienced. I don't know how many more they're going to add. The puzzles so far are few and not very difficult that I've run into so far. And yeah, I don't know. That's about it. It's kind of more of a walking simulator, a literal walking simulator in my eyes at this moment than any sort of adventure puzzle game. There's been no dialogue. I haven't really interacted with people. There's no verbal puzzles. There's a little mechanic where you have to spin your light around and kind of use it to interact with the world. And you get your bird friend. Have you turned gears
yet?
No, I have not turned gears yet.
Okay.
No. I just got to the point where I'm collecting blue orbs to fit in the guy's head.
Okay, that's pretty much the first puzzle interactive element of the game, or at least it introduces you to the idea of branching paths and a hub and needing to collect things and bring it back to a location or revisit a place where up until that point it's completely linear. Not that it's like at least massively open world. I assume not. Sean, you've beaten it? No?
It's definitely just very linear.
Small area? Yeah. Okay. And I really love the vibe. I think it looks awesome. Agree with everything Huck said. Great art style. Very cool character designs, probably being the feature. And I know this will make Sean happy. It feels alive. It's not like Spider-Man on PS4 where there's just not enough people walking around. There are little creatures and things that react to your light everywhere. So we've heard it's a shorter game, 4 hours. I'm probably an hour and a half in. Sean's done. And I feel like in that limited space, the environment decoration is very dense and interesting, and a lot of use of fixed cameras, which is rare this day and age. Still in some adventure games, but rare. And I'm actually enjoying the fixed camera positions and creating some interesting spaces and looks to different areas in the game based on camera position. My puzzle elements have not been super difficult so far, although I did find the second puzzle I did a little obscure. Wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do and if I'd done something correctly, and was like, I guess I just go on, and it ended up working out, but wasn't a satisfying feeling. I was like, I don't know if I did anything right here or not, or if I did something wrong that I'm going to have to undo. And I guess I'll just have to find out, which maybe is the intent. But if every puzzle in the game is like that, I think it could get a little annoying if I'm just kind of wandering and guessing if I've succeeded. I wish the game, still early, but was a little more clear about rewards and states and those types of things. But it is a bit of a vibe. So I'm not going to kill it just yet. But I like how it's expanding upon mechanics and using the bird named Twig to interact with the world as your proxy. And I do agree. It is gorgeous and compelling. Just, I don't think they've made a really compelling visual game since Stacking. What am I missing here? Because like Stacking was the last thing I remember being like, wow, they're doing really cool adventure game stuff. And then
yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. Like, I like the art style of some like things like Caution Quest, but like it's not like it's a looker necessarily. Is this the first game before
Stacking, wasn't it? I guess Caution Quest 2 would have been after, but I've just really missed Double Fine making simple, fun games. So I'm kind of enjoying this so far.
Yeah. So is this the first game they've done using Unreal?
I don't
Possibly.
know.
Just sorry, one last thing I forgot to say. I do find the aiming of the light a little frustrating. There's like I thought my controller was broken. Like I have to hold so long before it starts moving, and then it goes too fast. And
It's just
it's. I just one last thought. It's on the left stick. You know, obviously there's directional aim where you have the X and Y coordinates, and you know you can have free aim in 3D space. So if I push up and to the right, it would aim the light relative to that vector in game space. And I wasn't surprised. I kind of, in my gut, knew it wouldn't do this. It's just left and right to rotate it and up and down to change the pitch of the light. But that would be okay. I just think on top of that, it's clunky and hard to do, which is like, this is your only mechanic, aiming the right stick. It should feel so good to do that. And I'd say that is the biggest point of failure of the game. The whole main mechanic of the game is aiming, and aiming feels bad, like inaccurate. The last thing aiming should be is inaccurate.
yes.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of their games have been a little rough around the edges. We know this. I still generally, I'm a fan of Double Fine. I find that they do some pretty creative stuff, even if the games don't always feel great from a gameplay standpoint. But yeah, with this one, I kind of went in thinking it was supposed to be a puzzle platformer. Kept hearing people referring to it as that. So I was kind of thinking, okay, this is supposed to be like Limbo or Inside, like in that vein. And it sort of is, but having played through it now, I feel like the best comparison is like Gree and Neva, those two games. It's because the puzzles themselves are not that hard, but the real puzzle is what can I interact with? Where am I even supposed to go? You just don't understand the world, and it doesn't really explain it to you, which I kind of like, but it does lead to frustration. You end up banging up against invisible walls all over the place, and you're like, is this a path? Is this not a path? But I mean, with what Huck was saying, the first 45 minutes to an hour, I thought were not great. It starts off with this really awkward, the lighthouse learning to walk kind of thing, which at first I was like, am I even controlling this? What is going on? And then,
it's a little bizarre.
Yeah, but it feels good to know that, I don't have to balance this thing the whole time. It was just learning to walk.
I was like, is this like a baby steps type thing going on here? And then I ran into what Frank was talking about with something about the aiming of the light is just weird. I think it's the degrees of movement mapped to the right thumbstick. It just, you can't quite do it. So they kind of went with what felt best, but you never know if you're going right or left. You end up spinning all the way around half the time.
I mean, this is the easiest thing in the world to do. Just rotate. What? Left and right?
It's all relative to the camera. It's the same when you go from one room to another in a Resident Evil game and the camera shifts on you. It's the same sort of idea.
But it's not, well, no, I'm saying it's not relative to the camera. That's the whole point. The idea is in terms of programming the rotation of this light, whatever your accuracy setting is, or sensitivity setting, it's because they've separated X and Y. It should literally just be spinning the light, and it doesn't 1-to-1. This should be so easy.
I don't think left always turns it left. I think it depends on your camera orientation.
Yeah.
If you're facing towards the camera and you press left, I think it would actually spin it right relative to the guy.
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
There's something there. There's something that throws the whole thing off.
No, but that's why it has the RB center the light thing again to get it right going forward again. But either way, I think all the things we're saying speak to the fact that aiming doesn't feel good, and the whole game is aiming. So, not a glowing endorsement, to use a lighthouse analogy. But I mean, that being said, I'm still kind of sticking with it and enjoying it. So there's something right. The game it reminded me of, incredibly similar to Hurdling. That came out earlier this year.
Haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I haven't played that either.
Hurdling starts off very similar. Even there's these portals of stone where you see visions of things inside of it that is almost identical to what happens in this game. And also just going to a mountain and seeing the mountain you're going to through some vision, like identical setup to hurdling. And this, you're aiming a light rather than aiming your herd, but mechanically very similar. Very, and
That's
also
funny.
frustrating. Also frustrating to aim your herd in herdling, and about the same pace. So I was, and very similar diegetic presentation where there's no HUD. Any feedback you get is through things in the world. It's very similar to hurdling, and so far I think I prefer the gameplay of hurdling, but definitely 100% prefer the artwork of Keeper, and the concept.
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
mean, there's some UI elements. I mean, it will tell you like press right trigger to
True.
aim
Yeah,
your
which-
beam or whatever.
Some of that stuff feels like a concession. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, we
100%.
couldn't teach you how to play without this, so we have to. But yeah, so like, I mean, the thing is, I was initially pretty disappointed with the game. I was like, oh, there's not much to it. The puzzles are boring. The aiming of the lighthouse sucks. Like visually, it's cool, but I was like, oh, I'll keep playing it. And reviews seem very mixed. Like on Metacritic, it's like, I don't know, 7 in the 70s, which I was like, whoa, that's lower than I expected. But then some people are giving it like 9s and 10s. So it's like, it's all over the place. But the thing is, it about halfway through the game, there's some major changes, and I won't spoil anything, but like the gameplay completely shifts, and I think gets more interesting. I don't know if I would say I wish the whole game was these other things. Like I don't mind some of the lighthouse stuff from the first half, but I think it gets better for sure. So I would say if you play a little bit and you're kind of frustrated, maybe stick with it because it's only 4 hours. But that being said, it still didn't totally bowl me over. Like thematically, I really don't know. Like it's going for, like, to me, like a fantasy psychedelic thing. Like I don't know if you guys have seen any of those, like, basically when you get an achievement in the game, you find these shrine things, and like the achievement name is like this little bit of lore that you're like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, I found one, and I was like, what? This makes no sense. But
So like I didn't really get a good sense of what that like based on that. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting any of this from what I'm playing, but still like the vibe.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely curious to finish it. I gotta know. IGN gave this a 9. They're really in the bank for Xbox these days. Like it's out of control. It's like the last line of desperation to give their games higher reviews and shit on PlayStation, even though we all see the writing on the wall. But I just need to be able to weigh in on that 9. So I will be finishing it, I think, especially if it's only 4 hours. But I only started it today, like before we recorded. So I hadn't fully articulated the thought that the whole thing is aiming, and aiming doesn't feel good. It is a big indicator of failure.
Yeah.
But cool lighthouse and cool bird. So I'm going to keep playing.
Yeah, and again, like I love shorter games like this. This one just didn't totally click for me, but I would like to see more stuff like this. Artistic, weird, short games. I'm down for it, but
Yeah.
just didn't totally love it.
Okay. And did you get all the achievements while you were playing?
I didn't. I got most of them, and then I looked, and there's like 1 or 2 that I missed that seemed like pretty common ones. So I'm like, should I just start it over again? I'm sure I just missed something at the beginning, but I don't know if I'll bother.
All right. Anything else to say about Keeper?
No, at the
All
moment.
right. Well, let's keep her moving and
Whoa,
talk about
good one.
Ball Pit. I think that's the title.
I believe so.
Okay. I can't remember the developer. This is a solo developer, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Kenny Sun. And we had seen this a while back. It's clearly drawing on the success of Vampire Survivors, but presenting itself in a more, it's like a linear vertical scrolling game where it's kind of like Alleyway or Brick Breaker, where your character, you can aim and you shoot balls and just continuously shoot balls and try to catch them, although I don't do that much. I'm sure certain play styles or builds you would, but you're just constantly taking out enemies and auto firing or manually firing. I typically auto fire balls and try to take out enemies and beat short levels in a style very similar to Vampire Survivors. So it's just tons of enemies on screen, chaos, bullets, and just trying to avoid obstacles. And where this game differentiates itself from a lot of other Survivors or Survivor likes is in between rounds, in between levels, you have a mild construction management element where you place houses, and how you unlock abilities and characters and upgrade them is by growing resources, harvesting them, and building buildings that unlock things in this other area. And that's like the game loop. Try to beat a level, then build a bunch of things or collect resources, build new things, and then go back into a level. So a bit like Cult of the Lamb in terms of loop, not in gameplay by any means. And I've been loving it. At first, I was thinking, it kind of just feels like more Vampire Survivors with a different look and feel, but not even that different. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get invested in this one the same way I did in other games like this. But after a while, I actually got more addicted to the loop than the main gameplay of doing the harvesting. And
really? See, that's the thing that I'm like, I don't know if I'm into that, but I haven't played that much, so I want to give it more of a chance.
Because eventually to do building upgrades, you have to bounce characters off of them a number of times. So you start like rearranging buildings to try to get loops of dinging things and upgrading things in one turn. And the way you start upgrading your characters, your harvest lasts longer and you can harvest again. And I found that part kind of strangely addictive and what it really does well is it breaks up just doing the same thing over and over again, where I didn't get bored. I'm like, oh, okay, now I got all the stuff. Now I want to go do a run with it. And I've just been really into that loop and 100% got into the one more run a few too many times leading into 4 or 5 in the morning and basically telling myself I have to put this down or play something else. It's 4 in the morning. I got to play Battlefield 6 before I go to bed.
Yeah. So what did you play instead?
And I probably moved on and did a run of Absolum or something like that. I've just been bouncing between games like crazy. And
Nice.
Ball Pit, there are some big changes. Like a few hours in, and all of a sudden, this new ability gets unlocked, and it's a game changer. I don't even want to spoil it. I'm like,
okay, that's
because it kind of got spoiled for me. I'm like, oh, that's a little different. I was like, I think this game could be a grind. And I got this feeling as I keep going through the game, it's going to get crazier and crazier of like how combining things work. I'm sure there is like, in terms of pillars of this game, there is something relating to combinations or epic and unexpected combinations. And I'm starting to get that feeling. And if it continues to meta expand the way it has been, or a character you unlock plays completely differently. And I'll just say what that one does. It fires from the top of the screen rather than the bottom. And it's really fun, a new way to play levels. So Ball Pit, really loving it. I'm still not crazy about the art style. It's not bad, but I really feel like color palette wise, it's got a lack of cohesion. Even the fact that the colors of damage are inconsistent across levels. Like in the first level, there's purple things that hurt you and then red things and yellow things. And I just wish it had a universal like color language for some elements of the game. I think it'd be a stronger game. But really digging it. We'll keep playing it. And what did you guys think?
I could jump in. I don't have too much more to add. I only played 3 or 4 runs, and I did like how you kind of have to manage your resources in between the runs, and it definitely splits up the whole brick breaker aspect of it, so you're not just doing the brick breaker stuff. I like the leveling up aspect that's been added to the brick breaker game and how that kind of carries over. But overall, I think the brick breaker stuff is fine. I like the upgrades and how they kind of adjust the gameplay, and just like it's very, the upgrade path and the leveling up, I would say, is a carbon copy of Vampire Survivors, almost, identical. I mean, obviously the moves and the things are slightly different, but the style is very similar. And there's something about the resource management, like building your farmland and your buildings, that reminds me of some other game, but I haven't been able to put my finger on it. But there's something about that harvesting aspect to having those plots of land that reminds me of something, and it's been driving me mad since I played it. I don't know if anyone has any ideas of what I might be thinking of. I'll just like put it out into the ether, but I have no idea what it is, but it's something very familiar. I don't know where I think of that from, but yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it too. I'm not quite as hooked as Frank yet, but it's definitely a game I'm going to return to. It's a nice, easy game to pick up and do a run of. You don't have to like relearn any super complicated mechanics. It's slightly more complicated, I would say, than Vampire Survivors, but not in a too much more difficult way, just in like a few changes. So I really like that aspect of these games. When it becomes like one more run of like really complicated action, I have a hard time, picking back up after like a week, and this game is not like that.
Yeah, I just want to add one thing. I said Brick Breaker and Alleyway, and so did Huck. And I don't want that to discourage people if that doesn't sound interesting, because it's really nothing like Brick. Like you really don't have to bounce anything back or catch anything. It's an optional thing. I barely do it ever, if at all.
It's more that
it's not like Shatter or something like that, if that's what you're thinking. It's like basically just shooting balls.
Yeah, it's more that your ammunition can bounce off of walls and off of the enemies, but it's not that you have to keep trying to catch it and reflect it back or anything like that. But I'm enjoying it too. I've only played about 3 or 4 runs as well. And it's like one of those things where it's like, like the initial gameplay loop of the actual ball pit, I liked it right away. I was like, okay, I'm into this. The sort of farming, harvesting stuff, I was like, I don't know if I totally see this being interesting, but now that Frank mentioned how there is some strategy there to the placement and stuff, I guess I hadn't fully clued into that. And I don't know. For me, it's like these kind of games, it's like I could see myself sitting down and getting totally addicted to it, but I'm always so resistant to it, because I'm like, I should be playing something else. So I never really allow myself to get fully sucked in. But I don't know. Yeah, this one is definitely one of, there's a lot of Survivor likes out there right now, and this one is one of the better ones I've played recently. So,
yeah, I would agree that it took me 2 or 3 hours at least before it really hit its stride. It was more like, I'll do a couple runs, just because that was kind of my mode. Play one game, and then when I need a break, I got like 3 roguelites on the go that I would bounce across runs, and it was not that compelling at first and kind of confusing, but it really, really improves. And my biggest complaint by far in the game is in the construction management element. It's like so unintuitive and possibly just plain broken. Right trigger and X or cross is supposed to allow you to rearrange, and left trigger lets you see what's upgradable. But like switching between them, like it should just be hold right trigger to go into rearrange mode and left trigger to go into upgrade mode. And it doesn't do that. It does all this weird stuff where I don't even know. I have to bring up another menu just to get out of rearrange mode. It is the most unintuitive
Yeah.
construction
I
management
got
controls
stuck.
I've ever seen. And there's obvious solutions. Like it's blatantly obvious how to fix this stuff.
I got stuck in a couple weird like UI loops where like when you try to expand your farming area or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it, and like I just like couldn't do anything. I couldn't buy the plots of land. I couldn't like exit out of the menus. I had to like basically like mash buttons until some menu came back up and I was able to kind of reset whatever the UI logic was going on. So there are like little quirks like that that are a little frustrating, but you
I
know,
mean,
that's pretty minor.
it's more annoying because it's so fixable. Like I can't believe this made it to a
Yeah.
final game through playtesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never worked. The whole time I've played the game, it's always been frustrating. I can't believe playtesters wouldn't have said the same thing. And it's shocking to me. I don't know if people are listening to their playtesters or just telling them to fuck off when they tell them what's wrong with their game, because they have to be. Out of all the games I've played lately, especially in the first hour, like playtests must have revealed a lot of these issues.
I mean, maybe smaller games just don't have as much playtesting as you think. I don't know. I wonder.
It's published by Devolver Digital. I think they got a little cash.
It's true. It was the only real game they were promoting this year at Summer Game Fest. So
Yeah, so I'm not buying that. That is true. For the game I worked on, if I could change anything about the production process, it would be to do more playtesting and have more time with playtesting. So it can be tough if you don't. I think that's all I had for Ball Pit. If you like Survivor likes, definitely worth checking out on Game Pass on all platforms, but available on Game Pass as well. Okay. What was the third Game Pass game? I'll just talk briefly about Ninja Gaiden 4. Only got about half an hour in. Developed by Platinum Games, published by Microsoft, I believe. Maybe not. But it is on Game Pass for sale on PlayStation as well. And it's I always like the Ninja Gaiden games, even though I suck at them. And they are tight combat for sure. And so far in this one, I've really only done the tutorial level, but a lot of systems going on and choosing how to use powers and engaging certain modes and weaknesses of enemies towards certain powers, which are basically staples of any combat game these days, and keeping it fast and furious. There is a bit of an adjustment for this game. The biggest thing being you block holding right trigger, which I imagine is consistent for the series. I think that's what it was in other series. And then you shift with your directional stick at the last second, if possible, to do perfect dodges or dodge. And I find that like a really fun, fast dodge block system. You know, a lot of the games I played recently, it's lumbering, holding blocks, and heavy. And this just expedites and gets combat moving very quickly. And it's a lot of fun. Can't really say for sure, like the level design and level art is not that impressive so far. I'm just kind of on a train, and the enemy models are very repetitive. Even my character model, not that interesting. I barely even remember what they look like. And the effects are good. The visual effects are solid. Feels good, but definitely not blowing my mind visually. Even the last streams or events we saw with this game, really visually average and did not stand out as like, especially compared to these Souls likes and with these amazing bosses like Neo and all the From Software games. It just didn't have that visual appeal of its competition from what I could tell. But combat's very good. Not sure if I'm going to stick with it right now. I feel like I've got too much other stuff on the go. But it's pretty good so far. And it feels like a game I have to just play this game, because blocking and dodging is so different from every other combat game. I can only play one of these at a time, and I don't think it's going to be this one right now.
yeah, I mean, reviews seem pretty positive, but I definitely heard people saying that it kind of borderline looked like a last gen game. So kind of disappointing, but I mean, I'll fire it up. see how hard it is, see how quickly I die.
I mean, it's definitely easier than Silksong. But
Yeah.
it's weird because I'm also doing the first level where there's no health bar either, and it's just introducing you to mechanics. So I can't even tell how good or bad I'm doing at this point, which is kind of weird.
Right.
But check it out now.
Cool.
All right, who's going next?
Not me. I don't have anything else. So
I mean, I got a few things. I feel like you got a ton of stuff though, Frank. Maybe you should
No,
go.
you go for it, Sean. I don't have that much left.
Well, so like I played some Steam Next Fest demos, but they're not that like there's not that many standout ones. Like maybe I'll just rapid fire a few. So I played Reanimal, the demo for that, which is so Little Nightmares 3 is out. I guess I didn't realize it's actually a different developer. It's Supermassive, I think, did Little Nightmares 3. But Tarsier Studios or Tarsier, I think they were the original developers and they are doing Reanimal. And it's basically Little Nightmares. Like, it kind of seems like they got the franchise taken away from them or decided they didn't want to do it anymore, but they're just kind of doing more of the same. As with Little Nightmares 3, it's co-op focused, a lot of sneaking around, stealth stuff, some light puzzles, and some chase stuff. And I like their art style and the kind of creepy character designs. I'll probably check it out when it comes out. Do you want to go back and forth, Frank, or do you want me to just like
Yeah, we'll go
rattle
back
off?
and forth.
Okay.
I'll mention, I guess, Absolum next. That is the 2D beat 'em up roguelike. Roguelite, pardon me. And it's, we had mentioned it a few episodes ago, and it's got it's very clear to me the pitch was like a beat 'em up, but it's presentationally like Hades. It's very similar to Hades in terms of how when you get powers and effects and graphical style, not like I wouldn't say it's like embarrassingly similar. It's got a very similar vibe, especially with the crystals and other resources looking like, can't remember the resources in Hades 1, but very similar look. And I have really been enjoying it. It's each level, you basically have only a few environments that you can go through, and it's like picking a map in a roguelike with a branching path. And they feel really different. Each area, one is on a lift that descends, and then other ones are bridges or have a little hook that's different from all the areas that you've been in. So as you progress through a run, there's a lot of variety. And it's kind of up to you. If you've kind of taken a certain path visually for a while, you can mix it up. And then there's events in the game that kind of drive you to revisit areas to do small story quests and unlock new elements in the game. This is very similar to Rogue Prince of Persia in its storytelling and highlighting a map and where you should go or where you could go to unlock new things in the game. And I don't know who officially solved this design problem or created this idea to help kind of focus players in different areas and have smaller stories and quests that get unlocked while you play. But it's perfect. It's great for I want to go to that area next, do another run, unlock something new, and it just adds to the whole experience. Combat feels good. There's like kind of a different directional dodge and counter system that takes a little while to get used to, but is pretty easy to remember, not complicated. So if you go away from the game for a while, it's easy to come back and kind of get into the swing of things. I'm not seeing a ton of variety or uses of the rites of magic. So that's like the equivalent of boons in Hades, where you get different powers relating to lightning, earth, wind, all these different things. And, catering a run around a certain power or ability or consistency of relics. And I just kind of always end up picking the same things. I'm starting to experiment a bit more, but I'm not seeing great reasons. So I'm starting to get a little bored with it because this is my last kind of major criticism. I find the bosses are too hard. I like burn through the levels and then get to a boss, and all of a sudden you have to like block or counter 7 attacks in a row very quickly in a way you've never had to do that in any other place in the game. And it just kind of makes the bosses super punishing and not all that much fun because there's hardly any windows to attack them. So I feel like that's kind of a Hades inspiration too, where the bosses are a lot harder than the levels. But it's still good. I would give it like kind of an 8.5 so far, and I want to stick with it and get to the end game. So my current plan for games right now is to have one main game, and then I want to rotate
50
runs.
side games.
Rotate runs for Absolum, Ball Pit, Hades 2 eventually, and I want to finish Rogue Prince of Persia because it's really good. So Absolum, $30. I haven't done co-op yet. Sean literally buys every co-op game and asks me to play. But this game, for some reason, he just won't buy it and won't play with me. And it's really hurting my feelings, and I don't understand why.
I will buy it. I tried the demo and I enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, this seems like it would be a lot more fun co-op. So I'm kind of in. It's just there's so many games right now, and especially so many roguelikes too. Like I want to play Hades 2 as well, and I haven't bought that yet. So
don't let him pressure you, Sean. He just needs you for some trophy, okay? He doesn't really want to play with you.
I do need it for a trophy, but I can do it with anyone. It's not like Rematch where it has to be with a friend. It can be with a stranger to play multiplayer. So I just think Sean would like it. And he loves like that stupid fucking Scott Pilgrim game. So this is even better than that.
Yeah, I mean, I like a good beat 'em up brawler for sure.
And I'd say it's better than most of the retro beat 'em ups just in terms of mechanics. There's a lot more going on, and it's fun. It's a fun game, and it looks great. I want to reiterate because it sounded like I was dismissive of the art and presentation because it's similar to Hades. I want to be very clear. I don't think that. I love the art. I love the titles that come up in the game and the typeface, the presentation. I adore in Absolum. So, yeah, it's a great game. Another great game. Getting hot in October.
Well, speaking of beat 'em ups, I played the demo for Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is supposed to come out this year still as well. Not sure why there's no release date. Kind of just getting weird.
This guy just tells me there's too many games to play, and he's playing fucking demos.
I love demos. I love Steam Next Fest, but it's for the show. It's all for the show.
We're going to talk about it when they're released anyway.
Some of them we definitely won't, but but yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one. Like it is by the developers of Shredder's Revenge. It feels very tight. Like it's instantly a cut above a lot of the ones that are out there right now. And like, the pixel art is great. I think the thing that surprised me is just like every character and they only had like maybe 6 or 8 playable characters in the demo. They all feel very different, which is kind of, interesting because in beat 'em up brawler games, you might have, like TMNT, slightly different weapons, but the move set's generally kind of the same. But these were very different, I found. So that was kind of cool, just trying out every character and seeing how they played. But I will definitely look forward to playing this when it comes out.
That is interesting because I agree. In Shredder's Revenge and some of those other games, like the replay value with different characters, it feels like a grind completely.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I am kind of excited for this Marvel Cosmic Invasion. It looks decent. Huck, nothing? You sure? I feel like there was something.
I suck at games these days. I have one piece of news that is pretty boring, but I might as well talk about it. That I just realized. I remembered there was an AWS outage yesterday, and I was finding it kind of today.
Yesterday when people are hearing it.
Yesterday, I was finding it kind of interesting that like a lot of the big news outlets in their like title, like Fortnite goes down because of AWS outage. Nothing about like, hey, banks or Microsoft or like any like actual people that make real things that people use. It's the games. The games are down. How can we entertain ourselves? So I just found it funny that like Roblox, Fortnite were all like big titled things I was seeing on like, you know, BBC and CNN and stuff. It was always about these like games grabbing headlines, which I think we've made it, boys. I think gaming is real and people like it. We've made it.
Oh, it's real.
It's definitely good clickbait either way.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, tiny news thing.
Yeah,
People must have been pissed they couldn't play their free-to-play games.
Was PlayStation down
affected?
or no?
Like nothing. I didn't even know about this because nothing in my life was affected at all. It's weird.
There was like a few things at work today that were affected. Like you couldn't upload videos to Slack for a little bit, and a lot of it I think happened more like affect more European time zones. I think it was kind of like outage during the US night.
Yeah, it was
so
like really early in the morning, I think.
Yeah. Like by the time I got in at like 8 o'clock, they were just it was just starting to come back online. So no, that's when the emergencies engineers are in there resetting everything.
Some stuff was still kind of offline in the afternoon. Like in my work, it was all the Atlassian stuff, like Confluence, Jira. That was down for most of the day.
Same.
But I did notice like Netflix and Apple TV, there was a couple like weird things where I was trying to set it up on a different TV and like it kept asking me to log in over and over again. I was like, what is going on? And then I realized it must have been because of that. So
yeah, I had a weird thing where my like Questrade account, like I don't know if it was related to this, but it randomly canceled all of my Canadian orders that I had placed for buying and selling stocks. Just like canceled them all. And then I got an email being like, yeah, something accidentally canceled everything. You'll have to like redo all your orders you had, which is weird. So I don't know if it was related to the AWS outage, but I would imagine it might have. So yeah, strange. But I mean, AWS is huge. I'm not surprised that there wasn't bigger headlines like banks and other stuff complaining about it a lot louder than, you know, just Fortnite and Jira, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't hear about it. That's kind of nuts. What else did I play? Battlefield 6. Wasn't going to buy this thing, and then my COD friends got it, even though I only played with Dax a bit last night. And did you play this, Sean? Did you play Battlefield?
No.
Okay.
There was no trial, no EA Play trial.
Yeah, that's true. I did a couple missions of the campaign. It's like remarkably average. Definitely not COD level campaign. Kind of aspiring to that and hitting a much lower bar in terms of cinematics and scale and quality. And, you know, then I got into multiplayer. And when I played the beta or whatever, I was like, this is kind of frustrating, very hard to adjust. And it was like that for me, I think, for about 5 or 6 hours. I'm like, why am I playing this? I don't even like it. I'm just like dedicated to getting good. And at about 5 hours or so, I finally adjusted and got away from what COD is to what Battlefield is, which more playing the objectives, more reviving, being more cautious. And, you know, it's a big adjustment process. And what I like about Battlefield is the emergent gameplay. The big difference of this, like destructible buildings, more physics stuff, crazy stuff can happen. Buildings explode on you. And I have the last few days, especially last night, like crazy stuff has happened in the matches where, you know, you're holding an objective and a tank comes in and explodes on top of you. You survive, and just really cool moments that you don't get in a COD. And I love both, but I'm really starting to appreciate Battlefield for what it is. And if you're not enjoying it, or you suck at it, which I still suck, but I really sucked before, I would suggest do vehicle stuff. Go into vehicles, be an engineer, just learn the different roles a bit and classes and experiment with them, and just stick with it, because it does get pretty satisfying after time. it does not help. EA's menu systems are the worst. I would love to know if there is someone in charge of user interface or user experience at EA that oversees all games and has style guides, because they suck and they don't know what they're doing. And there's so much text that it doesn't even seem visible on screen. It like just blends into everything. And they are so bad at making things stand out to the user as being important. And it just feels like blah. That goes for the sports games I've been playing or borrowed from the library. This game, like EA's menus are brutal. And I think if the user interface and HUD was better, this game would be so much more enjoyable. It does not present information well. And maybe that's a calculated choice because they don't want it to be intrusive to experienced players, but it is not great for new players. And but now that I've adjusted a bit, it's getting fun. So I will keep playing Battlefield 6. It's
added to the daily roster.
I've basically bumped everything else. My daily roster is kind of empty. Yeah. Rematch. I think I've had my fill of that until I have friends who want to play. Even though I liked it a lot, it's platinumed. And I just play with strangers who suck and annoy the shit out of me. So if friends ever want to play, I'm in. Rivals, not that in COD, I think I've had my fill of that too. And Helldivers, very rarely. So my roguelikes are my new dailies and Battlefield. Just loving gaming so goddamn much.
Nice.
And I haven't even got to the stuff I've played the most.
Oh boy. Well, let me give you one other quick demo. Actually, I got two more, but Ambrosia Sky I played, which I'd been hearing some things about. And it is basically a sci-fi power wash simulator. It's kind of like Metroid Prime meets Power Wash Simulator, which is like kind of a cool idea. Production value wise, like you can kind of tell it's made by a smaller team. Some of the like story bits and the lore and the UI and stuff felt a little rough around the edges, but the main mechanic is power washing basically. And it's fun. There's also a grapple that you have, which you can pull things towards you or pull yourself to locations. So it's not really actiony from what I've seen so far, but I mean, I don't know. It kind of intrigued me. Like I like that there's actually a story and a bit of a mystery. You're sort of on this space station, and
is your character's name Roger Wilco?
No.
Oh,
but
okay.
The character does look a lot like Samus from the artwork.
Do you guys know the Roger Wilco reference?
No. Is it Space Quest?
Space Quest from back in the day, Sierra. So
yeah. I think they added another Space Quest game on the Xbox Retro Classics app.
Oh, really? That you can text enter with your controller-controlled keyboard?
Yeah.
I did sign up for Game Pass again today. Just to get Keeper, just 1 month for Keeper, Ninja Gaiden, Outer Worlds 2, and COD. Let's see if I want to buy it or not. So if you're thinking of Game Pass, this is the month to do it. This is a good window to check some stuff out. Anything else for Ambrosia Sky, Sean?
No, I think it comes out in like a month or two. Like I think they chopped it into parts or something, so it's called like Ambrosia Sky Part 1 now or something.
Still titled as just Ambrosia Sky. On the main page, it's Ambrosia Sky. If you go down a bit, it's Ambrosia Sky Act 1, and it releases on November 10th of this year. Seemingly so far only on PC, which I'm not surprised. But kind of neat. Cool idea. It's just like we're going to get 20 different versions of power washing games now. And everyone's just going to have a subgenre that they just play for the rest of their life.
Just wait for the Vampire Survivor cross power washing mashup that's coming down the road.
That could be good.
I mean, eventually, be great. AI will make a Survivor like for you, like based on whatever you want. And
probably you probably do it right now, to be honest.
Just like I want a Survivor like with Panzer Dragoon, and you'll have it in a few minutes. Crazy. We're fucked. Okay, well, what have I been playing the most? Hollow Knight Silksong. I talked a bit about it on Film Junk, patreon.com/Film Junk, for those inexplicable people who only listen to Game Junk. But Silksong really captured my heart, and I was obsessed with it for 2 weeks, basically. I played it all the time. I 100%ed the game. Took me 110 hours, I think, to do everything in the game. So Silksong is enormous. Now, a lot of that time is retrying hard bosses, but there are a lot of bosses. And I think I talked to Graham a bit about it. He was 60 or 70 hours in, not even doing the third act of the game. It is a lot of content. And I must celebrate Team Cherry again for some frustrating initial opinions of the game. They have put a lot of stuff into a game for $27. And I still can't believe it's $27. My only reason I can think this is happening is because of a Kickstarter, that they're tied to certain things based on that Kickstarter that they had to stick to. And I think they'll probably just end up doing some DLC and maybe charging more for that, or maybe not. Who knows? But for $27 in Canada, it's crazy how much stuff there is to do in the game.
But I mean, why not just pull some stuff out of the game and make that the DLC, and then
they might have
it all ready to go.
They might have done, and there's still tons left.
Maybe,
and, I mean, the art grew on me so much, and there's so much variety to the different areas, and like the depth of the detail in the background is great. But ultimately, it is the bosses. The bosses are so good. The last boss of Act 3 probably took me 10 hours. And I will say, it didn't bother me. I was like, this is easy. I should be able to do this. I'm being dumb.
Sorry, did you say 10 hours?
At least, yeah.
Yikes.
It's like Ishin, I think, was the last boss in Sekiro. That probably took me 2 days. And this wasn't as hard. It was just like, this is not bad. This is not bad. But and it was fun replaying it. I was not mad. I was enjoying replaying this boss. I just wanted it done though. And I just think the claw line and the dash are so satisfying to use. It's might be better than the Mikiri counter in Sekiro. Claw line, the biggest game changer for 2D combat I've played in a long time. And it made the game so fluid and so fun. And my complaints about fluidity in the early stages of the game were alleviated and then improved upon by great degrees because of the claw line mechanic and some of the other things. So the combat is so good by the end game. It's so much fun. So if you're hesitating or it's too hard, or you're like, this is too similar to Hollow Knight at the beginning, I don't think it is. In terms of combat, it's totally different combat by the time you get to the end of the game, and a lot of bosses are super cool and fun. So I love Hollow Knight. Now, the only other game that it's competing with this year is Donkey Kong Bonanza for Game of the Year. Haven't played Hades 2 yet, but I did also 100% Donkey Kong Bonanza in the last week. I wanted both of those games off my out of my mind. I don't want to think about them anymore. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is still incredible. It is not the best game ever made, which I once thought it could be. That ended in the Radiance layer with the snake. But doing the end game content was fun, but there is a couple areas where you do these challenge things later. They're called rehearsals in the end game. And the one with the zebra is one of the worst designed things I've ever seen in a Nintendo game. It's like physics dependent, wonky, frustrating, unintuitive, clunky. Who thought this was fun? That was said for the first time in a long time. I don't say that much these days. And I was snapping doing the zebra rehearsal yesterday. Was it today? Holy shit, it's so bad. But other than that, fun. I kind of guessed some of the twists at the end of the game, so that was ruined for me. But awesome last boss, like really cool, and in a way that it uses the mechanics of the game in the boss that feels like scale and spectacle and chaos. And where the game was super easy, the last boss was pretty challenging and fun. So it will still be 1 or 2 so far on the list. I don't know. It's neck and neck with Silksong and Bananza. We'll have to wait till January to find out. I'm not sure yet.
Possibly February.
Yeah, who knows? I got to play Claire Obscure still. But Hades 2 apparently is pretty incredible as well. And Yote. So, fuck, it just never ends. It never ends. But Bananza, Silksong, 2 best games of the year so far. Hands down. Not even close.
Wow. A lot of gaming.
I have gamed a lot. It's absolutely sad. The last week, 100% without debate, the least productive week of my life.
Did you even watch football on Sunday?
I did while I'm playing games.
Okay.
That's the best
Well,
thing.
at least you did that.
You can play football. Yeah. I mean, productive might not be the best word. Just the laziest week of my life. And it felt so good. I can't remember the last, probably when I took a week off when the Wii came out to play Zelda Twilight Princess was the last time I was this pathetically lazy. And it was fantastic. So,
I'm so jealous.
I'm going to have to up my, my non-gaming activities going into the holidays.
Nice.
It was good. It was fun.
Well, I mean, I have a few other things I could mention, but I'm just going to end on this because I've been too positive this show.
Yes, you're always too positive.
I got to mention, I tried the demo for Bubsy 4D.
Uh-oh.
Now, you guys remember Bubsy, right? On the SNES?
Of course.
I actually think the first one just came out on the Nintendo Classic Online.
That's right, yeah.
I still know the theme song. Like for the whatever blows your hair back. And I rented it one time from, I think was it Gametronics? Was that the name of the place at the Penn Center in Niagara Square? And I was so excited for Bubsy, and what a turd.
So yeah, I mean the original Bubsy wasn't great, but you know, I guess there's some nostalgia there. I didn't realize, so they had done, I mean, there's way more Bubsy games than I realized, but they had brought it back in 2017 with Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back. Had heard that was not good.
Didn't they almost try to market that game as like intentionally bad, like a meta game or something?
Possibly. I don't remember hearing that, but that's a good strategy. I like that. They did another game after that, which I did not hear about at all, called Bubsy Paws on Fire. And anyway, now there's a new one, Bubsy 4D. And I've been hearing about it and people saying, you know what? The last few Bubsy games were terrible. This one's actually pretty good. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. I guess they turned the ship around. Let's check it out. And it was pretty bad. I don't know, man. I don't know what people are talking about. Granted, it's just a demo, but it looked pretty rough. It played extremely rough. Like, just, it was, I basically did a tutorial level, which was mostly empty except for like sort of pathways and blocks you're jumping on. So maybe that doesn't help, although I did play a bit of the first level and it didn't look much better. But it just, I don't know, man. It was just like, it reminded me of playing like early PlayStation 1 kind of 3D platformers where you're just struggling with the controls. I don't again, maybe that's on purpose. Maybe that's the nostalgia they're going for, but I don't know. It was pretty bad. So if you're looking forward to Bubsy making a real comeback, you might be disappointed.
I
was not expecting it, and I'm not disappointed. And,
so you're saying it lives up to its legacy of horrible gameplay?
Yes, it does.
I forgot I played one other thing. the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle DLC, Order of the Giants, which I had started not too long ago and got sidetracked. I'm like, gotta get that off the list too. It's short. And did you play this, Sean?
No, but it's on the list. I want to play it.
It's really bad.
Up?
It's really bad. Oh yeah. I mean, there's some really frustrating level design stuff and some puzzles that are just scaled to such a degree of like having to move one ball through 4 things continuously without losing it. It's clearly there to take a half an hour so they can say the DLC is like 4 hours long. This could have been a 5-minute puzzle or an hour puzzle, and they turned it into an hour puzzle because there's only 3 puzzles in the DLC. But just like very clumsy, cumbersome moments. There was one, I can't remember what it is anymore, but I was like, who would have known to do this at all? Like really bad level design. The last 2 sections of the main game were starting to exhibit characteristics like that, especially the last area. But yeah, good reviews, not surprisingly, from IGN on the DLC. And I would give it like a 5 or something like that. It is pretty rough.
Yikes.
Which sucks because I really like that game. But
know
if you're on the fence, I would not, unless you absolutely love the Great Circle, I would hold off for the DLC until it's on sale or avoid completely. I just wanted 100% trophies.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned before, like, I don't know why they're not doing DLC that's related to specific movies. It feels like that's a thing.
Yeah, I must have misread. When I saw the season pass initially or deluxe edition, I thought it said there was Last Crusade inspired DLC, and there's not. That would be so sweet.
Huh? Oh, well.
I'm sure there will be a sequel to this game. I'd almost bet my life on it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Okay, anything else anyone played?
No.
Anyone play any more Yote?
A little bit.
I'm waiting till I can dedicate myself, but I want to play it bad. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for this week. Not sure. I don't think any events or big stuff happening this week. We already talked about.
Well, I mean, hey, Power Wash Simulator 2.
That's this week?
I think so.
Oh my God.
I might have to get Jay on to talk about it.
That could be something right there. All right. So check us out. Watch us on youtube.com/GameJunk. Discord links are there. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, share. And other than that, thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks for 250 episodes. Bye-bye.